compelling, and complete.
Transformation Agenda series on education. You're listening to This is the Transformation Agenda series on education with Abraham Adu. You are listening to the Transformation Agenda series on education with Abraham Adu.
Good morning and welcome to the Transformation Agenda series on education. God bless you so much for always staying tuned with us. We are grateful having you connecting with us this morning. We want to say God bless you. This morning we're going to have a very wonderful discussion. We're going to look at the successes that we've chalked as a nation. Remember, so much has been done in the area of education. Honestly, I believe that Ghanaians know about 10% of those things that government has done in the area of education in this country. You have no idea what has happened in the area of education in this country, and we want to help you appreciate what the Lord has done for us as a country in the area of education. This evening at 8 p.m. on GTV, we're going to show you a documentary on one of these things that is happening at the education ministry. God has given us a gift. Honorable Dr. Yaosedi Chum, who is a minister for education, a man endowed with wisdom and strength from the Lord, who is championing this cause and has done so much for this country. We appreciate you so much. Wherever you are, Honorable Dr. Yaosedi Chum, good morning to you. Also, good morning to the Deputy Minister for Education, General Education, Honorable Reverend John Intimfojo. God bless you wherever you are. Good morning to you, our Mother Gifty Chumampofu, Honorable Gifty Chumampofu, all the directors of education of the 16 regions of Ghana, teachers, students. We want to say a good morning to you. We pray that you, as you connect with us this morning, you're going to be educated, and I believe that the strength of the Lord is going to be there for you to grasp everything that we are going to be sharing with you today. God bless you so much for staying tuned with us. God bless you. We appreciate you so much.
Come on.
Transformation Agenda series on education. Your most educated. This is the Transformation Agenda series on education with Abraham
When the three has dedicated funds. 23 from Secondary Education Improvement Project. It has dedicated funds. It was easy to execute, even though about 13 of them had been completed when we took over. The rest of it, the money was there. So it was just managing to make sure you finish. All the rest, there were no dedicated budget source, which we can do these days. These days you can't. Any project that you're going to do, you have to make sure in education there's money set aside. But during their time, they did something that has led to this crisis of some people saying my e-block has not been done. The 23 that had budget allocation has not been completed because the money was set aside for it. In fact, a number of them has been financed, and I did a report on the floor of Parliament. A number of them have been financed with the bond money from the 1.5 billion that we sought from Parliament, sought approval from Parliament. So a number of them have been completed. This year we're going to open some of them. But the bottom line is that if you don't have the money sitting there and you are doing the whole construction, the way I always say, my father cocoa farmer built his house. Every year you harvest some cocoa and you dry and you take some money and then you add on. That's how we do education. So when you do it that way, it's difficult to complete it in a timely fashion. So when people say, why are you not doing this? My question is, we really did bite more than we can chew.
That's not a one who says, so you're almost young. Mamma is here. You're the teacher for the competition. When you almost want your guy. When the fast when you got the fast never. Woman, the fast now more than break. Now, that's it. That's a very kissing. That's not a one who says, so you're almost young. Mamma is here. You're the teacher for the competition. When you almost want your guy. When the fast when you got the fast never. Woman, the fast now more than break. Now, that's it. That's a very kissing.
So that was the Minister for Education there. You know, he's been visiting schools across the country, and this is one of the things, some of the things that he said when he visited Ashanti region. And so we just had to share that with you this morning. Now, I have a gentleman right here before our interview starts. He is in the person of Harry Buenote Agbugla. He's at the Accra High School as a maths teacher and instructor at the Accra STEM Center as well. He has written a book that I came across, and I tried to look for him, and I found him, Pythagoras Theorem and Trigonometry. This is a book for senior high school and then diploma institutions. This book has been approved as a supplementary book by NACA, and so it's a book that government is aware of. Even if you go to the website of NACA, you find his book there. I just want him to tell us a little about the book. He's going to be out. We're going to have a time with him to come and actually share with us what this book is all about. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, how are you?
Fine.
Wonderful. You just have a few minutes and then we'll have a wonderful time with you. So why did you write this book? Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
For the opportunity.
Yeah.
I wrote the book basically to address challenge students have in mathematics, and this aspect is always cited in the chief examiner's report as a challenge.
Okay.
Anytime questions are set on it, and in each and every examination, talk about WASI, regular and NOVDEC, questions are set on it. So the book is basically to address the challenge. To address the challenges.
This is how much is the book?
It's just 30 cedis.
30 cedis. Wow. And it will cost you more than 30 cedis to do this book.
Exactly.
You are generous.
It's part of my contribution to help students.
Wow.
Do well.
Wonderful. We're going to have you in the next 2 weeks here to come and share with us. We're going to have a long discussion with you about this book where you're going to tell us, what it entails and all that. But today we want to say a big thank you. Please, this is his number. Please try. If you're a parent and you have your child is having challenges in mathematics, this is a teacher who is available that can help you to do that. Call the number on 02433 44539 02433 44539 03243344539. Try and call him, and I believe that he will be of a help to you. God bless you so much for coming, brother. We appreciate you so much. God bless you so much. We'll see you again in 2 weeks' time, so where we'll have a full time with you to share with us about your book. God bless you.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
40
much.
years when I dropped out of school because I was pregnant. That was in the year 2009. I was 14 years by then. So since then, when I had my first child, I was having this desire to go back to school. But because of financial constraint, I was hawking to provide for myself and for my child. So I decided I would go back to school. So as I was preparing, I got pregnant again because I was staying with a man. So I had to drop that desire again and start all over. But along the line, I had the desire that I wanted to go back to school. And unfortunately, I got pregnant the third one. Yes. But after that, I decided I would go to school. So I left the man and I started my life. From there, I started selling to provide for myself and the children. And many people were advising me that I was brilliant, I should go back to school. So I took the bold step and I went to so-called Bogame MAGHS Form 2. That was 2018.
Transformation
And in
Agenda series
2019,
on
I wrote my
education,
B's.
your most
and I
educative
passed.
program
I was
on
admitted
radio.
in Maoli School, which was nice. I want to add that I know there are a lot out there. To me, it is a good thing. It is a good thing, and I thank the government. I want to become a midwife.
I like being a teacher because I want to help shape the life of the next generation.
There's never a better time to teach children than at those formative early ages. Once you prioritize that, you give them a head start.
This is the Transformation Agenda series on education
and
with
we work
Abraham
to produce
Ado.
results.
We need to improve our teaching of reading so that literacy levels will rise for our nation.
Teaching students in their mother tongue boosts their morale and helps them to participate very well during lesson delivery.
They are very happy coming to school regularly because they know that when they come, they will also be given the chance to talk and participate.
The head teacher provides all the necessary resources that we need.
The most important way of improving basic education is when you improve the quality of the teacher. I always tell of the story of two guys who were behind me at the domestic airport at Kotoka, coming from Kumasi. They were giggling when we got to the domestic airport. And I was curious as to what they were talking about, so I was kind of eavesdropping on them, and I heard them say, "Wow, Ghana, we are so blessed. Our domestic airport is better than the international airport of Niger." But I was also saying to myself, I hope these guys have gone to Dubai, and they can compare our international airport to that of Dubai and laugh at the same time. Ghana is blessed as a nation. We are doing way better than a number of other countries, but therein lies our Achilles heel, so to speak. We get excited that we are better than these countries whose names I will not mention. But what we forget to know is that we can be one of the best in the world. And that we should not be happy because we are better than some other country in West Africa. We have to challenge ourselves to understand that we can compete with Vietnam and compete with South Korea and compete with all these countries if we create that sense of urgency among ourselves that our performance at this time that is one of the best in sub-Saharan Africa is not good enough for Ghana. Ghana can do better.
Transformation Agenda series on education, your most educative program on radio.
All right, so good morning once again and welcome to the Transformation Agenda series on education. My guests are already seated and today we're going to be talking about the success story at the pre-tertiary levels in Ghana's education. That's Ghana's education outcome. That's what we're going to be talking about today. And I have in studio this morning Mr. Samuel Bayo. Mr. Samuel Samalat, who is an independent consultant and independent consultant that's assessment of educational learning outcomes at pre-tertiary level. He is here in studio with us. And I also have Mr. Solomon Atete, who is a lecturer at Western University and also lectures at the Center for Teacher Development Ghana. Mr. Salamat is a known somebody who is known in the educational environment, somebody who has data information about all that is happening in the education sector. And we are privileged to have such a great man with us in the studio this morning. we're going to be talking about, I keep saying that I think we know just about 10%, maybe less, of the things that this government has done in the area of education. That's the truth. We really don't know, because perhaps we did not talk about it so much like we started doing now. And we have someone here this morning, we have guests here this morning who are going to help us to see. Now, this is not being doing politics or being political, but as a country, sometimes it's important for us to know how far we've gone and where we are. Like the minister will say that we may not be where we wish that we were, but certainly not where we used to be. There's been a huge transformation and change in the area of education in this country. Last week, I mentioned to you that even at the basic school level, where we have footages of schools that may not have certain facilities or equipment for learning, in this country, the president and the Ministry of Education has provided us with 504 projects at the basic level, and Ashanti region has 174 projects. We have Ahafo region that has 29, Bono region has 43, Bono East region has 17, Central region has 34, Eastern region has 63, Greater Accra region has 25, Northern region has 20, Northeast region has 7, Upper East region has 24, Upper West region has 16, Volta region has 9, Oti region has 19, Western region has 19, Western North region has also has 19. Now, if you put all this together and other things that we've done as a country, we have really been successful. We may certainly not be where we want to be, but we are not where we used to be. Good morning to you, my guests this morning. I appreciate you for coming. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning so much. God bless you so much for coming. It's not easy waking up early as this and coming to such a place. I think I'll welcome Mr. Salamat first, Samuel Salamat. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Well, this is your first time of coming on this program, and yes, we appreciate you. Thank you very much. You came quite early. I always tell the youth of this country, if we all behave like some of you are behaving, we'll get to where you are today. You wake up early morning and 7 a.m. you are here. You are busy throughout the week, Mr. Nati as well. But early morning Saturday you are here with us. Now, as a country, have we moved from where we used to be? That's my question for you.
Yes.
Great.
If we look at in terms of access, we have moved tremendously.
Great.
If we look at the time the SHS program was started,
This is the transformation
in
agenda series on education with
1990, and look at the number of candidates that were churned out at that time, you compare that to now, and that can be found in my works. Let me show you.
Great.
There have been more than 300% increase
Wow.
from 1993 up to 2001.
Okay.
So there have been phenomenal increase in terms of access. Then if we also look at gender parity, in the 1990s, government had to launch a program, send your girl child to school, because the number of girls that were enrolling in our schools at both basic and secondary levels were woefully low. But today, I can tell you that as at 2001 WASI result, which I have analyzed, there were 51.3 for girls as against 49.7 for boys, which means girls have now even outnumbered the boys.
Wow.
That's phenomenal. Again, there were some courses that were exclusive to boys and other courses that were also exclusive to girls. Courses like home economics were exclusive to girls, and courses like technical were exclusive to boys. Today you have boys, both boys and girls, pursuing home economics and technical simultaneously. So there have been phenomenal advancement in education, access, and delivery. What we need to do is to see how we can further improve performance. And that aspect is where we need to look at. Because if we compare Ghana to Nigeria, I get worried that Nigeria is doing better at the WASI than Ghana consistently. If we look at the performance of Nigeria and Ghana from 2016 up to date, Nigeria has been on top in all the subjects, both the core and the sciences. And that is the area we really need to work.
And I believe that we are actually working on that as well.
Sure.
Yeah, and we will surely get there. But let's look at the pre-tertiary, the level, which is our concern for this morning. Let's look at performances. We had issues with reading, for example. And then we introduced a standard text, standard examinations that we did for the primary schools. Has there been an improvement after that arrangement?
Let's get this thing right. Assessment operates at different ontological levels. You can look at assessment in terms of effectiveness. Then you can look at assessment in terms of efficiency. Now, if we look at assessment in terms of efficiency, then it means that the standardized test it's not a high-taste test.
Okay.
Where we have to see which country, which region performed better than the other, and which school did better than the other. It is mainly diagnostic. It is to help the Ministry of Education and Ghana Education Service to determine the strength and weaknesses in educational enterprise.
Okay.
And what I mean by strength and weaknesses is that it is important that we know how many students at the P2 level are able to read and comprehend. It is important that we know how many students at the P2 level are able to work with numbers. You know, when you talk of numbers, operation of numbers, understanding number theory, and all those things. That is what the standardized test is all about. That is yet to be done. And until that is done, I will not be able to comment on that. In fact, the minister has asked that I get the data from the NACA and do that.
Okay, but before you continue, let me ask you this. You did mention you were trying to compare Ghana to Nigeria. Now let's come let's look at Ghana, the improvement that we have made ourselves. Have we improved? Looking at the performances, say, let's look at the last 10 years. Have we improved?
Sure.
Not comparing ourselves to any other country.
If we look at the last 10 years, in fact, I've done some work looking at 2011 up to 2021.
Yeah.
The year that Ghana had its highest achievement was 2012.
Okay.
Then it dipped. It started peaking from 2019, 2020, and 2021.
Great.
So there have been improvement.
Okay. All right. I'll come back to you, Mr. Solomon Atete. You've been around on the grounds, and you've been training teachers into the classrooms. Have you seen any transformation in our pre-tertiary levels?
Oh, yeah. I think so far it's been good. As he's saying, sometimes you need those standardized tests in order to check, not to find out whether the school is better than the school or whatever, but it's just for government to get to know an aspect of probably the program we are using,
to strengthen or to work on. And I think the term government has been doing that. The ministry is doing very well, and so there has been improvements. Even though there are some few challenges, especially like you were saying that in terms of the WASI, Nigeria is ahead of Ghana. I think one of the issues might be methodology. Yes, sometimes the way we teach our children, and when you talk about this pre-tertiary, you look at the way we develop our children from the onset. Yes, I think some time back we had a situation where little children at the ages of 3, 2 were being forced to do some writing instead of building or just nurturing them, getting them prepared for the task ahead. We force them to do certain things they are not supposed to be doing at the time. But I think with the introduction of the new curriculum by the ministry, I think that things are improving. Just that we still need to give a lot of training to our teachers. Then definitely with time we'll overcome the few difficulties.
All right. First, thank you very much, Mr. Solomon Ateta. Please, I would like to remind you that we are live on Facebook at Transformation Agenda Series page. We are also on the Word Radio GH page on Facebook. We are on Class 91.3 FM page on Facebook, and then www.classfmonline.com, and also on our YouTube channel, Transformation Agenda Series on Education. Please connect with us. And if you go on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, like us, follow us, and so that we can get you all the information that you need. Mr. Solomon Ateta, let me ask you this. When you look at, you have been in the education system for some time now, some of the policies and interventions that government has introduced into our system, what are some of the benefits we've gained from that?
Yes, there are a lot of things going on. In fact, let me really praise the minister for some of the policies that are being introduced into the system. Like you have the STEM school policy, then you look at the TVET issues, and a whole lot. We might not, you see, we are where we are today as a result of the kind of education we inherited years back.
Great.
And so whatever result it is we are having today is a product of what we inherited. So what it means is that whatever it is that we are putting into the system today will be accounted for probably tomorrow. And I believe that there has been a lot of programs in place, like I said, from TVET, STEM schools, and this pre-engineering courses that are being introduced by some of the universities now are all new things that are coming. And I think that in the next few years to come, we're going to have the situation where the problems we are facing today, yes, if you look at the previous or the education, the kind of education we inherited, it was such that the interest was to have people read and write, yes, to go work at the formal sector. We didn't have the situation where we have people becoming so creative, and for that matter, coming out with things to do, so to ensure that people are self-employed. And that has been the problem we have faced over the period. But in fact, with the introduction of some of the programs today, even from the basic level, that let's say even from the primary schools, you realize that there has been an introduction of a curriculum that is to make sure that from the word go, our children are trained, or our learners are trained to be able to think, to become creative and what have you. And as we continue, it has been extended to the senior high schools, and that is why now you have the situation where the basic school ranks from KG1 up to what basic 12, that is, it incorporates the senior high school. And so you realize that it's a very big change that is coming. And with time, if we are able to adhere to some of the things we have to be doing, especially when it comes to methodology, methods of teaching our learners, with time, you realize that the benefits are going to be so numerous. We're going to have the situation where there's unemployed situation that is befalling us today then will become a thing of the past, because we are training people to be able to think. We are training personnel who will go out there to think, reason, and create some things for themselves. So we would not be depending on government alone or the state alone to create job opportunities for people to go and do it. In fact, that thing is becoming a thing of the past. I mean, if you go to around the whole world, and so far, I think that the problems, the programs we are having now are very good enough to give us a progress in future.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Solomon Ateta. Let me come back to Mr. Salamat. Yes, Mr. Salamat, you have done a lot of research into. Yes. Do you think that looking ahead, like Mr. Nate just said, that what we inherited, the system, I would say that, for example, Minister for Education, Honorable Doctor, is working on some foundations that were laid, and that's why he came building. Some of the foundation, he had to break them, he has to renovate, he has to do this and all that. But looking at where we are today, let's look at the next 5 years. Per your research and the data you have, pre-tertiary education in Ghana, how will it be like?
Let me, first of all, provide this information.
Great.
There's a difference between...
Can you please come, if you can come closer to your microphone?
There's a difference between education reforms
and
education transformation.
Okay.
The former minister embarked on education reforms.
Okay.
Where he looked at internal structural weaknesses
of
education and addressed them. Now, the present minister, Dr. Yao Edichum, had gone further to do educational transformation, which is more rigorous than what the former minister did. So the two paradigms are different.
Okay.
Now, in Ghana, looking beyond, our structures are okay. Educational structures are very good. What we have to do is to work on the agents who manage our educational structures.
Okay.
Am I saying that? I have done some work on assessing technical TVET programs.
Okay.
And I can tell on authority that from 2015 to 2020, we have trained over 71,343 craftsmen into our system.
Wow.
In all the programs, if that is from our 47 public technical institutes, and out of that, 22 of them pursued electrical engineering, 15 pursued building construction, 12 pursued auto mechanics, 5.4 pursued wood construction, and so forth. One may ask, what mechanism have we put in place to track these people that we have trained? Perhaps some of them may be, because some of them may even be out of job. So we need to go further and find out how many of these are working in the area of trade. That one, we haven't done that. Another thing that we need to do is, if our country is to develop, and my minister and friend has always been saying that we need to track our brilliant and gifted students. If we look at the 2018 BEC, 3,830 were students who obtained an aggregate marks of 500 to 600. So these are brilliant students. And these people were distributed across our schools. Now what we need to do is to track, to see how these people have performed.
Okay.
We have not done that.
Mm.
Another thing we need to do is, if we look at the 2021 WASI, 179 candidates obtained 8 A's.
Wow.
We need to track
Okay.
to find out how they are performing in the universities. Because if this country is to develop, the people who think beyond the average, they are the people who will be able to bring the breakthroughs. But we are not able to keep track of all these people. So looking at 5 years, we need to be able to identify our gifted and our talented, and to encourage them, create conditions for them. In fact, that is why I really like what Minister is doing about this STEM. The STEM Academy is fantastic, but I would have gone further to get the brilliant students. As I mentioned, over the 3,000 students, got them and put them in these STEM academies, and you will see that they will come out with innovation and other things. But we have allowed it to operate as a normal system. So these are the areas that I have. You see, and let me say that I look at education not from partisan point of view, but I look at education as a public good, and the minister knows about this. So going for the next 5 years, there's a lot we can do for ourselves.
Okay.
The study that I have done about TVET indicates that Ghana has a very good future. Formerly, we had about 41 public TVET. Now, they have added some other TVETs, and they are almost getting close to about 200 TVETs. And that is fantastic. What we need to do is to do constant assessment of learning outcomes of these TVET institutions.
So you've mentioned tracking and then constant assessment.
Yes.
Okay.
Tracking. You don't just leave it like that. You see, Professor Basker talks about levels of reality. He talks about three ontological levels of reality. He talks about the real, the actual, and the empirical. We have often focused on the actual. The actual is what we have read about literature and other things that we know, and the best practice that we know from other countries. We have ignored the empirical, knowing what is on the ground, because every action and inaction is driven by underlying mechanisms. And these underlying mechanisms are not variant, they are invariant. They are context driven. So we need to know what is in our system. You see, what are the peculiarities in our system? And then we can develop from our system. And that is, if we are just following the crowd, following other best practice from other places, without tailoring it to look at what is on our system and developing from within, then the president's vision of Ghana beyond it will go very, very, very far to be achieved. So, as I said, the structures, the educational structures are fantastic. They are very good. What we need to look at is the agents that operate those structures.
When you talk about agents, what are you referring to?
I'm referring to the way we select our headmasters, the way we recruit our teachers, the way we admit students into various institutions and others.
Okay.
The people who do that.
Okay.
We need to look at that.
You're talking of placing. You're talking of placement.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I'll ask you to take a little break whilst we listen to this from the Minister for Education, and then we'll come back. Thank you.
The President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has made TVET a centerpiece of his education transformation agenda. TVET is a means to an end, not an end in itself. By that I mean that we look at TVET as realigning education and economic
development.
That is where the MPP government approved a 5-year strategic plan for TVET in 2018. That 5-year strategic plan has 5 policy objectives. It has the governance and management of TVET. It had quality of TVET. It had access to TVET, sustainable funding to TVET. Then, of course, it had sustainability, environmental sustainability of TVET.
The TVET systems or TVET education was highly fragmented and well separated from the normal formal education. You could realize that people couldn't even recognize there was technical education sector in the Ministry of Education.
Government has passed 2 major laws. Act 1023 is the Education Regulatory Bodies Act. Then we also have Act 1049, which established the TVET service, that is to look at the TVET delivery of public TVET institutions at the pre-tertiary level.
For education to play its rightful role in economic development, you have to make education relevant to the needs of the economy.
Thank you very much. I'm here with Mr. Samuel Salamat, who is an independent consultant assessment at the Ministry of Education, consultant as assessment of educational learning outcomes at the pre-tertiary level. And I'm here also with Mr. Solomon Atete, who is a lecturer at the Western University here in Accra. And Mr. Solomon Atete, I think you've heard what Mr. Salamat was saying, the things that he said. Now, to talk about agents that working behind the scenes to ensure that all the visions that we have as a country is achieved. Now, you are in training of teachers. The kind of teachers that are coming out, are they on the same page with what is happening in our education sector?
Thank you very much. Let me begin even with the issue of the headmasters. In fact, it's a very important issue he has raised over here. The headmaster, of course, is the lead teacher, and for that matter, he should have his knowledge of whatever is supposed to be done in the school should supersede that of everybody over there, so that when things are going wrong,
and let me add that
yes,
well empowered.
Yeah. So that when things are going wrong, this person will realize it and know what to do. I think there was a time you mentioned to me that you visited a school and met a headmaster who was telling you that they've been instructed that the children should not be king, and for that matter, yes, they just leave them to do whatever. Such a person cannot be a headmaster who can help our current generation to get better in future. Yes, if there's an instruction that do not cane, yes, any headmaster who understands that's what the work of teaching will know that it is not only caning, or the cane is only one way of probably correcting children in the school. There are several other means by which we can do that. And so if you are asked not to do that, what are you bringing on board to ensure that the children get refined? But if you say we are being asked to leave them, and so you are leaving them, then you are creating a problem.
Thank you very much. Good morning to you, Ho FM 92.5 FM. We are live on Ho FM as well. We want to say good morning to you. Thank you very much for doing that listening. You can continue, Mr. Nati.
Yes. And so that's said, all the headmasters, I think, should be people who are very efficient on the job.
Yeah.
Then come back to the teachers. As has been mentioned already, we have a program that is supposed to be followed this time in training our teachers, and I believe that all the
training institutions
are following them. But then, once again, the question is the people who are giving this training to the teachers. Do they even understand exactly what is supposed to be done?
Wow.
If they understand it, then we don't have a problem. This time, teachers we have a system where they do what we call SCS, that is supported teaching in schools. This allows them occasionally to go to the classroom, the training teachers, to go to the classroom to study from those who are already doing the job. I mean, the system is doing everything possible to ensure that people would acquire the level of knowledge that is needed for them to be able to impact into our current generation so they get better. But one thing is that you can get the horse the river, but you cannot get force the horse to drink out of the river. The people we are training, have they come to be trained just because they love the job and they understand the nitty-gritties of the job, or they are there because they can't find anything to do, and as a result of that, they think that the next available job for me is to go into teaching. If that is the mentality, then we won't get anywhere.
I think Minister mentioned one of the. I think let's listen to this. Let's listen to this.
I like being a teacher because I want to help shape the life of the next generation.
There's never a better time to teach children than at those formative early ages. Once you prioritize that, you give them a head start.
We work as a team and we work to produce results.
We need to improve our teaching of reading so that literacy levels will rise for our nation.
Teaching students in the mother tongue boosts their morale and helps them to participate very well during lesson delivery.
They are very happy coming to school regularly because they know that when they come, they will also be given the chance to talk and participate.
The head teacher provides all the necessary resources that we need.
The most important way of improving basic education is when you improve the quality of the teacher.
All right, so this is the part that I wanted us to listen to, improving the quality of the teacher. I think Mr. Salamat has mentioned that. So what you... Yes.
What he said.
Yes.
I have had a privilege and opportunity to work at the health sector and also work at the education sector. In the health sector, there's one thing I saw at the health sector which we need to use at the education sector. At the health sector, in addition to the pre-training that are given to teachers, there is also post-training, mentorship that is woefully absent in the education enterprise. For instance, experienced doctors are made to train the less experienced doctors. In our system, you don't find that. When they are organizing programs for improving teaching pedagogy and teaching methodology and other things, instead of looking for teachers in the classroom who has made it, for instance, I have data that indicates teachers who have been able to teach and produce high quality students. Instead of using those teachers to be able to share their best practices with others, we don't do that.
But I'm looking at what you're saying here. I'm looking at what the minister has also done in reference to what you're saying. We have schools like Manfi Methodist. We have schools like Akunanya Krom. We have schools like so let's look at these two schools. So let's look at Abomusu, for example. So the idea of taking teachers from high performing institutions into schools to build that kind of culture that has made those schools successful, isn't it the same thing in relation to what you're saying?
Taking teachers from high
So we have Manfi Methodist, for example. The assistant headmaster from Wesley Girl was sent to Manfi Methodist, and you could see the transformation that has brought.
I have been to that school.
And you look at Abomusu, for example, the Presec assistant headmaster from Presec is sent to the. It's not the same thing the minister is doing in terms of what you made a reference to the fact that when it comes to in-house training or on mentorship, you need somebody who is up there to help those who are coming up.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that there are schools whose students are underachieving.
Okay.
Meanwhile, the teachers are putting in their best.
Mm-hmm.
And when their students go to write the WASI, they are not able to pass with quality grades as other schools.
Great.
What they have to do is to get teachers from schools where the students are achieving.
Okay.
To go and provide mentorship to the schools where their students are underachieving.
Okay. So like a system that must be going on.
That is what you are talking about here.
Yeah.
We have an assistant headmaster from, let's say, Presec, who has learnt a lot from probably the headmaster over there. And now the minister has said that, then if I can take this person from
to this
Presec,
school that is
underperforming, performing school to an underperforming school, then this person is going to impact what on the teachers over there. And then it can also. But one other thing we have to look at is the issue of what we call the facility.
Okay.
Probably Presec might have all the facilities, all it requires to be able to make their work very easy.
Okay.
But if you're talking about Abomosu Senior High School,
STEM school,
good. Or you're talking about a school that is less endowed, yes, you may send a headmaster probably from Presec there. But one, does the person have even the working personnel, the teachers? Most of these schools have national service personnel in there who are teaching. I mean, it is not a bad thing. But if you have the situation where it is a whole lot of them in one school, then you can envisage the difficulties that are even the student population.
So it means that the teacher who is those national service personnel should have somebody who is mentoring them.
Mentoring them.
They shouldn't just be allowed to be teaching.
Go there, yes,
there's an incident that occurred. It had to do with my child when they didn't have a tree teacher at the school.
Okay.
Is it French or tree? One of them. And when the teacher came, I think because they didn't have it's a tree teacher, they had to ask one of the the national service guys who said he could teach the tree to do that. He goes and tells them to go and write myself. And if I didn't do tree in school and I can't write myself for my child, and my child comes to school, what do? He caned them for not doing the assignment. You understand it? And it wasn't right. So I think that this issue of national service personnel we are not saying that they don't do well, but I think the mentorship issue that Mr. Salamat is mentioning is something that we need to really look at again. Thank you very much. All right. So now we activate the phone line. We have just 6 minutes to get out of here. You can call and contribute. It should be very brief. And the first call is we have two books from Mr. Buenote, who came earlier to talk to us about his book, the math books that he talked about. So if you are able to get through to us, we're going to give you one of those books. You talk to my producer, and they are producers, and they are going to help you get one of them. We have only two. So the first two callers who are going to be on this line, and don't call because of the book, call because you have a contribution to make or have a question to ask. 0302 20 80 80 0302 20 80 80. If you have any question or contribution to what we are discussing, please call. Mr. Salamat, finally, you have done a lot of research about Ghana's education. I'm sure that we need to have one-on-one with you one day and have you full time to talk about everything that you think we need to know as a nation. But let me ask you, irrespective of the challenges we have and everything that we have, all that, how far have we gone?
We have gone far, very, very phenomenal.
You can come closer to the microphone. We like your voice.
Very, 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 very far. Very, very, very far. As at now, as at 2021, more than 930 schools presented candidates for WASI, compared to 2006, when there were less than 300, there were less than 400 schools.
All right, thank you very much. I think you continue as a caller. Let's pick this call and then you continue. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello. All right, so Mr. Salamat, you can continue.
So we have gone very far there. We have also gone very far in putting in place interventions and policies like the STEM. You mentioned the STEM.
Yes.
But there's another thing the minister has also done. That's creative art.
Okay.
There's a creative art school in Kumasi.
Thank you very much. There's a creative art school in Kumasi. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Brief, what's your name and where you're calling us from?
My name is Philip. I'm calling from Sapema.
All right, Sapema Philip, please talk to us.
Yes, I wanted to know what exactly the Ministry of Education is doing about these mushroom schools all over the place right now.
Okay.
And the teachers they have are not properly trained, and they are not ready to be taught also. And it's creating a lot of problems.
Okay.
If you go to some places, the environment they are using as a school is so appalling that they are using it to extort money from parents and destroy the future of these children there. And I see them doing nothing about it.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I think we'll have Mr. Salamat. I think there's an issue that will be addressed up there. Thank you very much. What he's saying is that, Mr. Philip, thank you for Sepeman. God bless you. He said we have schools that are all over, and some of them are having untrained teachers, and some of the environment are even not good. But he believes that those schools that have been established are just to extort money from people. What do you say to them, Mr. Salamat?
I don't agree.
Okay.
In education delivery process, there are 4 factors.
Okay. Our time is up, so just...
There are 4 factors. We have the role of the government, we have the role of the parents, we have the role of the teachers, we have the role of the teacher, the student themselves. The government and the parents provide resources.
Okay.
So when parents are
provided
to provide resources, and parents are direct beneficiary of education. So even when they are made to provide resources for education of their wards, I don't think that is extortion of money.
Okay, but he is talking about the teachers not being trained. Like, okay, so I think Mr.
Yes, let me come in here. That is, I mean, it could be a problem. It might not be a problem.
Okay.
The issue is that if you have the headmaster, who is the lead teacher, being a professional who understands everything, I think occasionally he can organize in-service training for these teachers, and with time they get better.
Okay.
In fact, you can, if you talk about the private, even the government sector, as we speak, we still need a lot of teachers who are meant to be trained. Talking about in terms of going to the rural areas and what have you, and so those non-trained teachers are also doing their very best.
Okay.
But the best thing to do is to give them in-service training.
Okay.
Talk about the issue of the mentorship. I think now it is part of our program, even in the training colleges and whatever it is. And so, the students go on mentorship in various schools to understudy experienced teachers who are already.
Thank you, Mr. Salamat. You were talking about 5 years, and you mentioned intervention and policies that have been put in place that you were concluding.
I mentioned policies like the STEM. I mentioned policy like
the creative arts.
Yes.
And then I mentioned the policy like giving incentive for teachers. And then the training of teachers.
Okay.
And then now there is educational leadership aspect.
Okay.
For headmasters and others. These are all fine policies.
Okay.
But beyond that, we should take the mentorship very, very seriously.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. That's Mr. Samuel Salamat here this morning. He's been a blessing to the Ministry of Education. He's really been instrumental when it has to do with education delivery in this country. We are so grateful that he came through. A lot of things he's going to be doing on this program for us. Mr. Nate, your final words as we end the program.
Yes, as I said, I want to re-emphasize that we should take the mentorship very serious, so that everybody who is in the classroom as a facilitator or a teacher will get better, so that we can do proper impartation into our current generation, so the future will not suffer. If we do that, we'll get the methodology or pedagogy is very important, and people should understand it in order to facilitate learning.
Thank you very, very much. I believe that you've enjoyed the program. So we as a country has achieved a lot, and I believe that they were cutting left and right. They told us about the things that we need to do to improve and even get more results than what we are getting right now. And those of you who have private schools and teachers and all that, I think we should give room for mentorship. We're also saying that government should also do tracking, close marking to ensure that this student, I think when we discussed STEM innovation, I did ask them that all the people that are contributing or participating in the program, what do they do after the program? We're supposed to track them and all that. I believe one of the things I've been careful when it has to do with Ministry of Education is that sometimes you think they are not doing it, but they are doing it, you don't know. So sometimes you need to get the people who are doing the thing to talk about, like we had Mr. Salamat here. So he knows when he's saying he's speaking on authority. Thank you very, very much, Honorable Dr. Yao Osei Educhum. You are doing so well for this country. Thank you for all those who are working at your secretariat. Thank you all teachers in this country. You are contributing so much for Ghana. I want to say God bless you so much. All my producers, all those who my team, technicians, and all of you who made this show possible this morning. I want to say God bless you. Tonight, 8 p.m. be on GTV. I'm going to show you a documentary that you love to watch. God bless you so much. Take care of yourself and be good. Bye.